We all follow you. We all follow your advice, firstly.
Stop.
We do. And they sent me so many questions. But the first one, I'm going to be selfish. I'm going to ask my own. Toxic brown, you know what? I hate the word toxic, by the way, but like brown culture, because we're both brown. And I love that because therapy is a big thing with my friends in America. They can't even find a licensed professional of the same color to talk about certain.
It's really hard when you
about like even parental issues that maybe they grew up with, which kind of translated now into their personalities. What are you seeing? Because I'm sure you have so much experience. A common pattern with like brown girls or boys.
I think what happens is, firstly, they can't find a therapist that gets it. A therapist will say, well, as long as you're happy, it doesn't matter. And tell your parents that you want to move out. And it's like, well, you can't.
You can't.
You're not allowed. They don't understand that you're literally not allowed to do that.
It's like a big thing in our culture and religion.
And our parents matter. We can't just disappear. So I think that lack of cultural understanding is leaving people with unresolved traumas and issues. But the actual dynamics of a ethnic background in a Western culture, or even in where you grew up, it does leave us a bit prone to trauma. Because the thing is that love is very conditional.
It is.
It's very, and we are told constantly by all the research, children are supposed to just exist and you get love. They're not supposed to be pretty. They're not supposed to be intelligent. They're not supposed to be obedient. They're supposed to just exist and get love. And in that knowledge of unconditional love, they become more obedient. They become more loving. They become all these great things. But when you put conditional love on children, they start to think authority doesn't love them. So they start to disrespect authority.
Do you see that conditional more in girls versus boys? Like as a girl, you're supposed to be more obedient. You need to be pretty as well, but also get the good grades, do the work at home, sit at home, not want to be social, but then magically also be social somehow.
Yeah, I think so. And I mean, I'm guilty of it as well. I remember when I was growing up, I treated my brother like he's a king. I would give him lots of unconditional love.
Younger or older?
Younger. Yeah.
Seriously, wow.
I would literally, I remember watching football with him for 90 minutes and just being there in case he got hungry and to go get something from the fridge. Is that
okay, wait, do you still suffer from that? Because I have a friend who still does that. I'm like, what are you doing?
I don't. He's married now with kids and it's changed. The dynamic's totally different now. But growing up, it was very much, are you hungry? Are you tired? Are you alive? And it was just the way we were conditioned. It was and there's nothing wrong with it, but it was just not the same with the women. And so what happens when you give unconditional love to the boys in a Pakistani home, they grow up to happily love their parents, respect their parents and obey the rules. But when you don't do the same to the girls, they grow up a bit resentful and negative. Whereas if you give unconditional love to both kids, they end up being far more easy to then nurture, and they become easier to parent. Unconditional love in childhood means they become a really easy teenager, but conditional love in childhood becomes a resentful teenager and a rebellious adult. So it's counterproductive.
Interesting. And then how does that translate into like that girl that grew up in that, I guess, environment? So for me, I don't have brothers. And I feel like I have a certain resentment towards the Pakistani male because I'm like, I knew how you grew up. And because I don't have a brother, I never had to do that. But I know if I did, maybe I would. And that's why I'm always like, oh, I'm not what you're looking for because I'm never going to do what your mom did for you. And we see that a lot with our friends.
But where does that come from in you?
And that's what I'm wondering, because I feel like because I grew up in Pakistan, I saw my friends treat their brothers that way or treat like older or younger. And I'm like, if he's younger, he should be respecting you, or like, you know, I don't know.
But where does it come from in you where you don't like that concept? Did you see your mom do it or something? Or
I didn't see my mom do it, but I think I saw certain guy cousins get privileges that I wasn't allowed to do. And I think like coming home at 12, why can't I? And I get it, it's a safety thing, especially in Pakistan. But after a while, it's like, you're living the life that I would love to live. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with.
Yeah, I understand. I completely understand. But I think the thing is, because as a girl in a Pakistani home, you also don't have to pay a bill. And you don't have to work. If you work, you work, but you don't have to work. And you don't have to pay your own rent, and you don't have to do all of these things. So I always felt like, because the men, especially my dad, was very on standby financially, I understood the kind of difference in because my brother wouldn't get that standby treatment. I'm sure he can in bits, but he wouldn't ask for it. So I understood how domestically we would be more inclined to doing domestic duties, but we get ease when it comes to finances. But the only thing I resent represented was the difference in the love, not so much in the freedom.
Okay.
I found the freedom is fine. I can understand that. You know, the reality is me 12 o'clock at night outside is different to my brother be at 12 o'clock at night in terms of safety and stuff like that. And I liked rules. Not that I liked rules, but I liked what is done to me as a person. I'm now self-regulated. Even in Dubai, I don't like to be out late. It's just I've become self-regulated. But what I found difficult was a difference in love and not the freedom. How come you chose how come it's freedom that bothered? But you didn't grow up with difference in, right? With your...
I didn't, but I think when it comes to, I think you hit it with the nail with that, where so much with the finances part.
Yeah.
I think I kind of grew resentful where I'm like, but I do want to help you guys financially.
Right.
And don't look at me like I never will, because I will grow up, whatever. This is like 12-year-old inner child with me talking.
Yeah.
I will make it. I will help you guys. Not that you need it, but that stability, I think, especially in Pakistan, like, oh, we have a son, he's going to take care of us in old age.
Yeah.
Our daughters, oh, we have to worry about their weddings. We have to worry about X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
That it's hard to just sit at home, do like cook, I don't know, dal chawal, and like have your hair looking good and be like, I'm like daddy's princess. Like,
it is. But what I found, what I loved about it was whatever career I chose, it was a hobby that I turned into a career. I didn't have any pressure to support anybody. And what that enabled me to do is figure out, what do I want to do in life? Whereas if I had the pressure of bringing money in, I would have to put that to the back burner and focus on what would be best for everybody. And so the fact that I was given that financial freedom is something I'm quite grateful for, because I don't resent the careers I've chosen over the years. Whereas if it was purely to bring money in, I think I would live a very soulless kind of existence. And I feel sorry for men that do have to do that, or women that do have to do that. So I was grateful for that privilege. But freedom-wise, I have zero.
Yeah. I think it's a really interesting take that you put on it.
Yeah,
that, like,
I'm very positive about it.
Yeah, but that kind of also plays with that whole, follow your passion. I think it's like in your feminine energy, you're more calmer, you're more just like, just following your passion and just like living life. But then do you think that's kind of realistic? Because at some point, like, do you want to help your parents, or like, buy your mom the designer bag she wants? Not that you have to be the one to do it.
No, I think when I think about my parents getting old, I think about I want to be looking after them, more emotional and physically looking after them.
Okay.
I want to be making their bed when they're sick. I want to be, taking care of them when they're not well. I want to be making the soup. I don't think about it in a financial sense. I think about it, how can I rub your feet when you're not well and stuff like that. That's what I'm looking forward to in the old age. I don't know, maybe because I have a brother, so it's slightly different. Yeah. When you don't have a brother, you do have to think about the retirement plan, and so that's why I'm looking forward to the more nurturing side of when they get older. Not looking forward to, because God forbid it's something but it's something I've embraced. The financial side of things, I don't enjoy spending my own money.
I'm the same.
Other people's money all day,
all night. Yeah, and I can tell you exactly how I can
go to
Dubai Mall and spend everything.
It's so bad. I don't like spending my money. Is like it's just numbers on a screen. It's not to be used.
Straight to the savings.
I think that's what it is. I see it as that. But obviously, I love spoiling my parents and stuff. But it's not something I look forward to. Being like, okay, how would I remortgage the house? I like that. I don't have that pressure.
Yeah.
All praise be to God.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
And I've never had a conversation like that. Now that I think
really
about it,
bad, isn't it?
Yeah, no, and I think it's more because my friend